over the record. And it's like, damn. At the time, I used to be like, man, I wish these niggas shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to hear the song. But man, K Slay, that kind of hurt me a little bit, man, because I was a big K Slay fan, and he was like a real like he ain't never come with no bullshit when it comes to music, man. It was always like some street shit. He always kept it hip hop, and it wasn't until shoot he when he passed when I didn't even know he was a graffiti artist, man. So when those pictures started showing up, I'm like, dang, this dude was really around from back when it started, man. So yeah, man, rest in peace to K Slay, man.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to the Drama King. Yeah, that took me by surprise too. I didn't know he had been sick for a while. Apparently, it was a long COVID, and he
Yeah,
was really suffering through it. So, yeah, very unfortunate, very shocking and surprising. And yeah, man, the mixtape era was cool. I mean, there were like you, I got tired of some songs, and there's still some songs you can't really get like an official version of. And the
yeah.
only version you can get is like with a DJ K Slay or somebody else DJ Clue screaming all over the fucking song. And it's annoying, man. But it was
Yeah.
still cool. It was a cool era, man. You would always look forward to the new, because now artists just drop whatever, whenever, kind of.
They
But
necessarily
before,
don't need a DJ.
exactly. There was no project dropping back in the day. Okay, there was no, this is not an album, but this is not a mixtape. This is the project. Like, no, it was only albums and mixtapes.
Yeah.
So, and mixtapes were cool because you could rap over whatever sample. So, the best Dipset work was from mixtapes. Let's be
Yeah.
real, man. Their albums are
Yeah.
good, but
Yeah.
Diplomatic Community is classic.
Yeah.
But their best work was on mixtapes because you
They
didn't have to clear no samples.
Yeah, they probably had like two class. I would play. I ain't gonna say classic, but two good, one classic and one good Dipset album. The
Mm-hmm.
rest of the stuff was classic mixtapes, in my opinion, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just how freely they could just do. They could like like when you listen to it now, the shit is not mixed. The
Mm-hmm.
shit don't sound that good. I didn't realize it back then, but
Yeah.
the shit do not sound good on the ears, especially the freestyles. Like I got a bunch of JR Ryder freestyles.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, man, it sounds like this nigga is on the phone
Yep.
rapping, man. But at the time, I mean, you ain't really care about that. You just listening for the bars. But yeah, man, he was one of those DJs that really cared about the art, man. Because you got a lot of other DJs who kind of sell out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They just go with whoever's hot. But this dude still, he worked. You see, he was working with Shaq. He worked
Yeah.
with tons of different people, and then he also, had his ear to the streets, man. He look. I didn't know who Papoose was until he came.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
Until he
definitely broke
with him.
Papoose.
Yeah. So, yeah, he definitely kept his ear to the streets. He kept it hip hop, and yeah, man, it's crazy, man, because that legendary gritty hip hop voice, man. I'll never forget that. How every time I think of a New Yorker, I think of K Slay.
Yeah. Drama
That's like,
King. Mr. Thanksgiving.
Mr.
Yeah,
Slap, your
classic,
favorite DJ.
man. Classic stuff, man. Now,
Yeah,
full disclosure, I actually hate that new version of Can't Stop the Rain.
yeah, I
I
know.
couldn't
Yeah,
stand it, man.
yeah. I only played it because it had DJ what
Yeah, of course, of course.
yeah,
I
I played
understand.
K
Yeah,
Slay
I'm
on
not
there.
knocking I'm not knocking the choice. I'm just saying personally, I hated that song, man. Because
Yeah,
that was in a weird era where people were just remaking shit to remake it.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that was around the same time like that We Are the World 2009 or whatever the fuck version that was
Yeah,
that
he had
came
a
out.
whole.
Like,
Yeah, I think he had a whole bunch of those, man.
yeah, shit like that. I'm like, man, y'all need to leave well enough alone. Reminded me of when Eminem and G Unit made their own version of Hail Mary over the
Oh
fucking Murder
yeah,
Inc. beef.
oh
And
yeah.
like, y'all do not need to be stepping on no classics like that. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, RIP to K Slade, man. That shit was shocking and sad. So yeah, big loss for hip hop
Yeah.
this past couple of weeks, man. So yeah. Unfortunate, but life goes on and we've got to go on. with another exciting edition of J Prince Song we're listening to.
The gems and juice.
There we go. Yeah, we back at it. Took a little mini hiatus. We back at it.
Happy birthday, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Celebrating your birthday all month, man.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing it big. I'm at the age where women are, where they don't put the numbers on the balloons no more.
Oh, yeah. You don't see a balloon to say 37.
Yeah. Women will count the years and publicly say the years up to like 25.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard a woman celebrate their 29th birthday and knew it was a 29th and they advertised it as a 29th? When you say upper 20s and up, then it's my birthday. Yeah. And they be editing out the years sometimes. But okay, we know y'all up there.
You need to be proud. Look, man, it's some women out here that don't even look their age. They look super young. Mm-hmm. Man, be proud of that, man. Like if you 41, man, say you 41. Like,
look, man, I'm happy to get washed. Not everybody lives long enough to be washed. Okay, so I will take my washedness with dignity and pride, because fucking not everybody got the chance to make it to 35 and up, man. So fuck it. I'm down with it.
Man, I got to the age where I have to like do some math to make sure I'm that age.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, am I 33? Am I 33? Mm-hmm. So I got to backtrack a little bit to make sure I'm 33. Because sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be 33 this
year. You be forgetting, man.
Yeah, I'm at that age now. So that's troubling.
That dementia starting to kick in, man.
For real.
I would say CTE, but I ain't play no sports, so I got no excuse. Yeah. It's just the mental starting to disappear, man.
Yeah, shit. I ain't bumped my head since I was like 8 years old.
Right. But yeah, man, glad to be back at it. We got a lot to talk about. Finally, new music drop, man. We finally got some music to dig into. Long awaited. What's that?
Some real good music.
I know. Finally, man. Finally, we've been begging for some new releases. We finally got one last week. Pusha T finally dropped his new album, half produced by Pharrell, half produced by Kanye West. It's called It's Almost Dry. Finally dropped it. About 12 tracks long, almost double the length of his previous album, Daytona. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Got features with Lil Uzi Vert, Kanye West, Pharrell, of course, you already know Jay-Z, Kid Cudi, who has announced that will be his last song with Kanye West because they are in a beef. How the fuck they let Pete Davidson come between Kid Cudi and Kanye West, man? What kind of world we live in?
Man. That is crazy.
Can you really believe that all the great work they've done together is now done because of Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That don't make no sense. We was talking, we had a side conversation before the podcast about how people need to patch shit up, man. Mm-hmm. That's one of them, man. Like, look, man, don't take nothing personal like that, man. Like, one little Pete Davidson, man, it should not break up a relationship like Cudi and Kanye. They put too much good stuff out here. They made some classic projects, in my opinion, some classic songs. Man, come on, man. That don't make no sense. It's sad.
It really is sad, man. And the fun, I mean, it's funny that it happened because of Pete Davidson, but it's also very sad too. But, Kanye and Kid Cudi done fell out and got back together several times. So I'm sure it's just one of them times. I'm sure as they get older, they'll realize this shit was stupid. But here we are now. And yeah, but Kid Cudi still is on the album, thankfully. And yeah, so I guess we'll start breaking it down, man. Figgy, I want to hear your thoughts first. Do you think this album lives up to the hype? And do you think it is equal to or better than Pusha T's last album, Daytona?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna answer your questions first, and then I'm gonna get into the album. I do not think it lived up to the hype. I felt like this was super hyped up. Some of the songs that came out, I was kind of excited about, but to me, it was a little underwhelming. Um, and to answer your second question, I don't think it's better than Daytona. I, I think to me, I feel safe at calling Daytona a classic. I don't think it's that, man. But to get into the album, man, first listen, I went through it without skipping. First listen, I was kind of confused on the intro, man, because I felt like the intro was kind of soft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, is this the first track? And, mind you, my first listen was, through like a little Bluetooth speaker. So I'm like, man, I'm not really, I ain't really feeling this one like that. It's cool, but not to start off the album. So the second song, Let the Smoker Shine the Coupe. That one, I was like, wait a minute, like this still don't really sound like this don't sound like Daytona, that gritty, hard sound that Daytona had. And I'm not saying that album should have been just like, this one, but I was still kind of like I was kind of confused. I'm like, man, this sound too soft, man. Like I should be ready to go outside and ready to start selling some dope. And I wasn't feeling like that. So I got to the Dreaming of the Past with Kanye. And that song was I like the beat on that one. And that one I kind of woke up a little bit. I was like, okay, I see it, And so on that song, Kanye kind of sounded different. I wasn't sure if it was Kanye. He didn't really sound the same. And so that kind of shocked me a little bit. I ain't really care that much for the little verse. He ain't really said that much in the song. But we talked about Neck of Wrist. So do you remember? I didn't really care for this one. At this point of the album, I'm like, damn, this kind of remind me of like a like the Godfather of Harlem soundtrack or something. Is this all started to sound like some type of drug dealer movie soundtrack? I'm like, man, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it at first, man. So we played we talked about Diet Coke. Rock and Roll. I thought Rock and Roll was okay. I didn't think it was the best song on there. I thought it was okay. I was a little disappointed because it was Pusha T, Kanye, and Kid Cudi. So I was a little disappointed at that, but it was all right. I got to Call My Bluff. I like Call My Bluff a lot. I felt like this was kind of a classic type of Neptune's Clips type of sound. So I really like that song. I didn't like Scrape It Off at all. I ain't care for that song at all. I felt like that wasn't even a Pusha T song. I was disappointed at that. I was happy Hear Me Clearly was on there. Open Air and I Pray For You. I like those songs. To me, Malice, that was one of my favorite Malice verses in a long time. He was really going in on that verse. I'm like, damn, I kind of didn't want it to end. That was the one song that really made me feel like we should really get another Clips project.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said it here and there, like maybe, it would be good to get something like that again, but I ain't think it would happen. But hearing that, I felt like we could get one, man. It seemed like Malice is a little more hungry now. I'm not saying we're gonna get grinding and stuff like that, but he seemed like he a little hungry. I could see him giving us a good 6 songs, a 6-song type of project from Clips. But all of this was from my first listen. So by the time I got in the car, I played again. I played the first track, Brambleton. And I felt like it sounded way better than it did through the Bluetooth. And the bass was hitting. So long story short, Brambleton actually became one of my favorite songs on this album. So I like the first track a lot. I like Let the Smokers Shine the Coupe a lot. I think maybe it has something to do with the bass. I'm not sure, but the album got a lot better for me. But I still think it was a little underwhelming. Um, I was kind of disappointed in the production overall. I felt like the production was a little soft. Uh, outside of a few tracks, I like the "I Pray for You" track. I felt like that was a vintage Clips type of production. But outside of that, man, I felt like it was a little soft, man. I was disappointed. And we said on this podcast, or I said on this podcast a couple times, how I don't think it's gonna live up to Daytona, because I really like Daytona. But I still like the album. I still think it's qualified, but to me, it was a little underwhelming, man. I just remember listening to Daytona for the first time, and it's like, damn, like I ain't skipped nothing. And next thing you know, it was over. I'm like, what the fuck? It was only like 20 minutes, but it was just like, damn, like every song going here was fired to the point you ain't wanted to end. I just didn't feel like that with this one. And I felt like he could have kept the features, to be honest. I ain't even need the Kanye features. I ain't need the Cudi feature. I definitely ain't need the Lil Uzi and Don Toliver feature on this. So I was a little disappointed at that. But the more I listen to the album, the more I really like it. But like I said, it's still underwhelming and it's not better than Daytona, but I still give it a qualified.
Qualified.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree, man. And this is also a good kind of a good thing that we had some time to digest this album, which is why I wish albums would come out earlier in the week again, because I'm sick of this like
Tuesday,
1 day
man.
reaction,
What Tuesday?
because really we're just giving our first thoughts on the album.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing to revisit an album after a few days and see how you feel and see how it settled in. Because sometimes I think an album is really good, I'll go back and listen to it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that good. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll think an album was trash and I'll listen to it in a week and be like, okay, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wish albums would come out on Tuesdays again so we have the whole week to adjust and absorb it. But I digress. Whatever. That ain't changing. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. It, Starting out, I did like Brambleton. I did like a good number of the songs at first. It really wasn't. I don't know. Dreaming of the Past, the sample got a little bit annoying after a little bit. Man, that was like that old vintage Kanye just looping a fucking sample, a loud ass vocal sample over and over again. I mean, that got a little irritating after a while to me. But I still like the song, man. Let the Smokers Shine the Coops immediately like got me kind of hyped, man. I like that song a lot, actually. It's actually probably my favorite song. That reminded me of like some old Hell Hath No Fury type of production from Pharrell, man. Like that was some hard shit, and that actually got me really into the album. I'm like, okay, he might actually top Daytona with this. I'm thinking because that beat was crazy, man. Neck and Wrist, we talked about that, like you said. Just so you remember, it didn't really do anything for me. In particular, that's where I started to dial back my expectations a little bit because I'm like, okay, it ain't gonna be Daytona. That's when I knew it was not gonna be Daytona. But Diet Coke talked about that. Call My Bluff. I thought that was a boring track, man. Like I actually think that's probably my least favorite track on the album. It kind of felt like a throwaway from Hell Hath No Fury. Kind of like it to me. The beat was just boring. Pusha T with his hooks and what he was trying to do, I just wasn't feeling it. I agree with you wholeheartedly about the features. I mean, these songs would be cool. Like Scrape It Off would be cool if it was on like a Lil Uzi Vert or Don Toliver album, but it feels out of place on a Pusha T album, man. So I really wasn't feeling that either. I did Hear Me Clearly, probably still top 2 songs on the album to me. Are Let the Smokers Shine the Coops and Hear Me Clearly to me. And I Pray for You. Like I agree with what you said. Basically, it got me in the mood for a Clips album. I want to hear a reunion, at least a little mini project, man.
Yeah.
So that was a really good song. I actually did like the rock and roll song with Kanye and Kid Cudi. I like that song, man. I thought the beat was cool and I enjoyed it. But I'm pretty much lock and step with you about it not even being close to Daytona, man. Because I went back and listened to Daytona because maybe I was
Me
thinking I
too.
was bugging.
Me
I was
too.
like, maybe I'll go look back and listen to this, and maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. And
Man.
dog, it was better than I thought, honestly.
Yeah,
Man.
I had to put the infrared in the Serato, man.
Yeah.
I'm like that because I listened to it, but when you go back and listen, it's just like, man, this shit is hard, man. Like he was actually going in on that song. I'm
The
like,
whole album, like hard piano, like when I first heard hard piano, man, words cannot describe how I felt listening to Rick Ross and Pusha T on that beat.
Yeah.
Like, dog, that was some Goku and Vegeta type shit. Like, it was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Listening to that album the first time was an experience.
It was.
And listening to this album, it's like it's just a cool album. Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But he had taken so much time off that you thought he was going to come back with something equal to that.
Yeah.
And maybe, pressure creates diamonds. I'm sure Daytona was made pretty quickly. I don't think, because Kanye was going through that whole era where he was just pushing out all these good music albums. And to the detriment of some, aka Tiana Taylor, who was not happy with that whole process. But for Pusha T, it really worked, honestly, because I think that's the best work he's ever put out. That album, it just has a gritty feel to it, man. Like it just puts you in a whole mood when you put that album on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one just did not live up to it, unfortunately. I gotta ask you too, because he did make a playlist version of the album where he separated the Pharrell tracks, produced tracks, and the Kanye produced tracks, and he called it Pharrell versus Kanye. So now that brings up the question: who do you think had the better side of the album, Pharrell or Kanye?
To be honest, man, I would probably go with Pharrell. I think I enjoyed his production better than Kanye's. Kanye's it seemed kind of a little bit lazy. And that's why I was so disappointed, because we know what Kanye can do. Just imagine knowing what Pharrell can do, and he probably just don't feel like it, or he might see something we don't really see, and it's not all that. So I like Pharrell's. I felt like he kind of got he kind of brought back a little other gritty clips type beats, but I think it was still a little soft. I would say this. These beats I felt like were better. These are better than the ones he gives Jay-Z.
Oh,
because
yeah.
for some reason he gives Jay-Z the soft ass beats that I really don't care for that much. But to me, in the Pusha T standard, this is probably his softest batch outside of the let the smokers clean the coop.
Yeah, I agree. I would actually think Kanye. I would probably edge out Kanye a little bit more, just because I don't know. Overall, I liked his side of the tape more, his beats and his production more. But honestly, they both could have done better. I feel, to be honest. I think Kanye really gets Pusha T. I think Kanye really understands what kind of beats to give Pusha T, and I think Pusha T is in his best form when he's rapping over Kanye beats. I think when he raps over Pharrell beats, he wants to be more mainstream. He wants to be more, shit you can play in a club, which I don't like that Pusha T. I like the grimy ass coke stories over old ass samples and hard hitting bass Pusha T. I don't like the fucking shit you play at the club Pusha T, man. That's Drake's lane. Y'all all got your own lanes, man. And that's Drake's lane. He can stay in that lane. The Pusha T, I like him in that lane, that Daytona lane, man. Ain't no Daytona song you can play in a club. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I do think working with somebody like Pharrell, because I heard a story about the Call My Bluff song and how Pharrell, I think Pharrell gave him that beat, and I heard Pusha T was very frustrated with trying to, catch on to that beat. And which I can understand, because sometimes you don't really understand how that beat goes. And so maybe that's why the hook was kind of like that.
wait, for
But
what beat?
the Call My Bluff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that and working with somebody like Pharrell, it's not like a thing where you could be just like, get this bullshit out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pharrell earned the respect to, kind of trust him. So if Pharrell come to you and say, "Hey, this is it. Just do the hook like this, do the rap like this," you probably gonna do it, especially if you push a T and you've been working with Pharrell from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe that song was probably something like that, a situation like that. But yeah, man, I like Pharrell's production on here a little more than Kanye's, man. But I agree with you; they could both did better.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, man, we waited so long. That's the kind of annoying thing about it. We waited so long for the follow up,
Yeah,
and it was good. It was a good album. I'm glad it came out. I'm glad it was a good album, but it was not of the caliber of Daytona,
yeah,
unfortunately. So,
yeah. I will say this though, I wouldn't be surprised, because this album was very anticipated.
mhm.
Like, we was waiting on this, and it was all over the place. He had the rollout, he had everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if this album probably get more run than the other one, than Daytona, just off the strength that is, he got like a full rollout. It's not hey, we dropping next week, and it just appeared, because that's how
Yeah,
Daytona came out. And so we didn't know what to expect. We didn't even hear anything from the album, and it just dropped. So this one had a little more time to marinate, had a little more time to build up. And so I think that could be some of the reason why, I was kind of underwhelmed, because
mhm.
it's like, all right, we heard Hear Me Clearly, and then we heard Diet Coke, and then the Jay-Z feature dropped. So now it's like, oh shit, like, we ready for it. And like I said, I was so underwhelmed. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if this album, lasts a little longer than the other one, just off the strength of the, not saying how commercial it is, but how much time he put into it and the promotion behind it, the push behind it.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely more commercial.
Yeah,
Like, look, this is more of an industry album than Daytona. He did videos for it. He did a whole press run about it. He did, and I mean, I guess he did that after Daytona, but that was more organic, and now it's more because of the Drake beef. You
yeah.
know,
The
but this
Daytona
one,
kind of came out of nowhere, because
exactly.
I didn't know what to expect. So
Nobody even knew what was coming out, like you said. But this was a very much more industry favorable rollout. You have the singles coming out. You have the videos. What up, Mookie? See you in the
Mook,
comments, man. How you doing, dog?
what's going on, man? We gotta get you back on this bad boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout out to Mookie Montonio in the comments. We see you, man. But yeah, man. It was way more of an industry rollout, in which I like. Look, you got to make money. You got to do these things as an artist, and he sees himself as that kind of artist, I'm sure. But I'm just saying, I like the gritty, grimy, no video for nothing, just fucking put the music out, and it's just the grimiest shit you ever heard. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure like there's some songs here you can play on a radio.
yeah.
Lil Uzi Vert and Don Toliver. I'm sure he could. That's gonna get run in clubs and radio play and all that shit. But
Do,
I
do
mean,
you think that was his intention? Because I felt like he haven't had that type of intention in a long time, where he had to, do something, for the radio, or do something industry like. It seemed like he always marched on his his own drum, beat to his own drum. So so I was kind of surprised to even see Lil Uzi Vert and Don Toliver.
Yeah.
Like I understand the Cudi and Kanye. That kind of makes sense. And who wouldn't want Cudi and Kanye on their album? But the Lil Uzi Vert kind of threw me off a little bit, and Don Toliver. So, but he, like I said, he been around for a minute, man. I don't know the last actual song he tried to push out there to be commercialized.
Look, I think I think his goals are different now. I think he's more about the bag. Look, he did the Arby's commercial, man. Like
Yeah.
he really did an Arby's commercial, writing a diss song about the fillet of fish.
Yeah.
You asked me back when Daytona dropped if this nigga would make a rap song about a burger. I would have said hell no, man. But so I think his goals are different now. I think he sees himself as proven in rap, and he don't got to make no more, albums for the hip hop heads only. So he can. I think he feels more free to, do the more mainstream sound and get the bag and do the videos and do all the stuff he wants to do. So yeah, I think his goals are different now, man. But hey, I can't knock him for it. Look, man, get the bag, do what you got to do. But yeah, like I'm a fan of the grit and grimy as Pusha T. We didn't really get that here, but it's still a good album. I'm glad it came out. I'm sure it's going to be on a lot of top of the year album lists, regardless. So yeah, like we said, it's qualified, but a little disappointing.
I still like it, but just the songs he put out really made me excited for the album, and it didn't really live up to it. And look, I like the song "Neck and Wrist." I don't know how you feel about it, but I like it a lot. That shouldn't be one of the best songs on there. To me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought he was gonna have songs better than that on there.
Yeah. Hear Me Clearly is what really got me hyped for the album, man. That's what really, like, I was like, if this album sounds like this, then it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a mixed bag, honestly. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Still a good album, like we said. We recommend it. If you ain't heard it yet, we do recommend you listen to it. But yeah, it's all right. We'll say it's all right. It's cool. It's cool. Another album did drop. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to listen to this. I wanted to, but it's been a busy ass. Look, man, I was holding down the fort of Future Ain't Fell Off for the longest time. I think last year
with this album, man.
I think last year I finally gave it up, man. I finally said, okay, Future is, I don't know, but he did drop a new album. It's called I Never Liked You, in all capital letters. Now I did hear that Future was going to switch it up, and it was going to be more of like an introspective, and he's actually going to be rapping about some themes. He did drop that song on Valentine's Day, where he called it the worst day because he had too many hoes and didn't have enough time to spend with them. And he even made a video where he like took an L at the end. And I was like, wow, maybe this is a new Future. Maybe we're getting something new here. But I also heard a clip where he said something like, fucked her in the ass, made her pee-pee. Like, oh, okay. So, it ain't too much different.
Yeah.
But you did hear the album. I want to hear your thoughts, man. What do you think about this new Future album called I Never Liked You?
The stuff you described about I guess what he planned on doing with his next project, I guess rapping about something else. I didn't hear it at all, man. This sounds like the same old Future. But I will say the production on here was pretty fire, man. I liked it. I'm not a big fan of the Future love songs, and there was not a lot of those on here. I will probably say it's 16 tracks on here, and I would probably say it was a good 4 emo type of records on here. And the rest of the stuff, man, the production was really good, man. He got a song with Drake called I'm On One, which is kind of hilarious because Drake got a song called I'm On One.
Mm-hmm.
But that song was fire. It's a song called For a Nut. Pause. Maybe I should throw a pause in there. But this song got Gunna and Young Thug on there. And I think that might be the song where he said fuck her in the ass, man.
Yeah.
And Young Thug got some similar lyrics on there too. But the beat on there is crazy. I like that beat a lot. He got a song called Massage Me, which is the song is hard too. I think it's a pretty good project, man. I was actually shocked because I was going into this album not really expecting anything. I was going into it expecting to skip. And I found myself getting stuck on the first 4 tracks where I'm like, damn, like this shit is actually all right, man. If he just released these 4, I'll be like, damn, this is a damn good project right here. And even the song with Kanye was kind of going in on the song, man. The beat on here was hard too. He got a song with Kanye called Keep It Burning. And yeah, that song is hard too. So I think, man, look, if you're a Future fan, man, I think you might enjoy this one. If you the type of person that work out in the gym or do something like that, I think this is the perfect album for it.
Okay.
I think it's a really good production on here. I was actually shocked, man, because it seemed like the last couple Future projects be a little too emo for me. And we talked about this a lot, man. I'm not a big Rod Wave person where the cry sing and my mama left me and I don't really care for that. He got like 4 of those on there. But everything else, I think it's all right, man. I think he sound a little hungry on there. So I don't know, man. I think it's cool. I think it's qualified. I think if you want to hear some hard ass song, some shit that bump in the whip, check it out.
Qualified.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out this weekend, man. I will say I believe the emo Future peaked with the Hendrix album. I think that was like the best emo Future we ever got, man. Like that whole album.
Is that the one with like Rich Sex and?
Nah, it was it had the song with Rihanna. I forget what that was called. It had Solo, which I think Solo is like a top 5 Future song, man. I think that's actually the best. It might be better than Cody and Crazy. Really? Solo's a really good song, man. That might be the best emo Future song ever. But yeah, I think Hendrix was like the peak of emo Future. And after that I think he just kind of makes it just because he's expected to. But I'm gonna check the album out, man. I'm looking forward to it and I want to hear it. I'm encouraged by you saying the production is good because it's been kind of iffy before with his last few projects because I don't know why, but it's good to see he's back to form and sounding good. So I'm gonna definitely check it out, man.
Yeah. We gotta come back to this conversation next week. Yep. Maybe I might be tripping.
Yeah, you never know. See, these day one listens, man, they fuck us up. They fuck us up because sometimes you can't even trust your own self, because I might be in a bad mood, hear an album, I don't like it. Then I hear it the next day and I'm in a good mood. So
but see, the thing about Future though is you're not necessarily going to him for the lyrics. I know, I know we heard some of the weird lyrics from him, but like if the production is really good, you could just mute out the lyrics, man. You could just play it. If the shit bumps, you can, the lyrics kind of cancel itself out. But if the production ain't there, then it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing too. Like that's one thing I heard DJs complain about with the whole Friday release day thing. Like you never know what's gonna be hot for the weekend when an album comes out on Friday. Because you play a record that came out on Friday night. Most people ain't even heard it yet. But that shit came out on Tuesday. You be looking forward to hearing it in the club or in a party setting, man. But I don't know, I just don't like it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I could make a whole podcast complaining about that bullshit. But
Yeah, I think it's deeper than what we just saying. I don't think they probably looking at analytics and
it's
get paid on Friday, so that type
apparently they were adjusting to the international release date, because internationally albums always came out on Fridays, and the United States was just an exception. And I guess in the streaming era, they just said, fuck it, we're all going to be united in the Friday release. But whatever. I still don't like it, but I digress.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, I feel like a lot more artists are starting to release music randomly that's not Friday. Because I forgot who it was that released something on a random Tuesday or Wednesday. And I was just like, oh shit, okay. And I appreciated that because it stood out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this person released something today, and that's the only artist that released something. So I had time to focus on it throughout the week instead of Friday, because today, like, I had a long day too. And you know, I got a chance to listen to the album in the car, like on my way to work, on my way to get a haircut, on my way home. So that was the only time I had a chance to listen to it. So just imagine other people's albums that come out. So it kind of sucked, you know, it sucked for the DJs. It sucked for us because, you know, when if, you know, 3 people dropped the album today, and, you know, we got to jump on here and give a honest review, which we always do.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man. But the Pusha T thing was, I think it was perfect that we were off last week and we had time. We had a whole week to listen to it. So it worked out right, because I probably would have came in upset. I probably would have said,
of course.
Big Pen. So I'm glad it gave me time to sit with it a little bit.
It needs time to digest, man. Can't be rushing shit down. It's like food, dog. We can't be treating it like fast food. You gotta let it percolate, season, marinate, all that good stuff. No, I'm hungry. I guess it's time to get in some topics, man. We have a whole lot that happened this past couple of weeks we got to react to. I guess we'll go more recent first. Let's get some sports in here, man. You've been covering the draft, the Texans draft. How do you first up, how was that whole experience? I know they had a draft party at the Miller Outdoor Theater this week. So how was that experience, man? How's a fan? Is the fan base charged up? Are they really into it now, man?
They are. And it's actually a good vibe going on, man, because the past couple years it wasn't really a good vibe. I could tell people was a little irritated, but man, Thursday night, round 1, with the Texans having 2 picks in the first 13 rounds, people were so excited, man. We were sitting here talking about all these random scenarios and, oh, maybe they're gonna pick this person, or maybe they got all the ammo to jump back up into the top 10 and grab this person. It was just, you know, it was really a positive vibe. It was a positive vibe from the people that work with the Texans. So, you know, everybody just, hey, what's going on? I'm super excited. It's a big day. So it was a really good vibe in the city, man. And I felt like that vibe haven't been around in a long time. So it was good to see everybody excited. And let me be clear, I'm not saying the team gonna make the playoffs or anything like that. They probably gonna suck next year. I don't know. But it's good to see that the arrow is pointed up finally, because the arrow was not pointed up in the last 2 years. And, you know, with no Deshaun Watson here, we can look forward. We can look at the draft and, you know, focus on the rebuild, man. And it still sucked that it came to this, but I think a lot of people are pretty excited. Even Larry and Stafford sound a little excited, man.
Nah.
And yeah, so I knew that was a sign that, you know, I guess good things are coming. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool out there, man. They had it at the Miller Outdoor Theater. Out there, I want to say it was out at Herman Park.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the first time they had something like that there, and it was pretty packed. The Texans staff put a lot of work into it. It looked good, man. So yeah, shout out to the Texans. Yeah, man. They picked 2 players yesterday. I think they got a couple more Friday night.
Yeah.
So they looking pretty good, man.
So far, at the time of our recording right now, they got Derek Stingley Jr. at third with the third pick, cornerback. Kenyon Green, I believe he's a guard at 15. Jaden Peter, I don't know how the fuck you say his last name, at 37, and John Mechie at 44. I'm sure they may have already picked somebody else by now. I don't know. But that's what they have right now. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's good to finally see some positivity with the team. You would have never thought, ask us a year ago, people would be relieved that Deshaun is gone.
Yeah.
But that is kind of like a weight lifted off the fan base at this point now, man. To finally be able to move on with the franchise, to finally have some first round draft picks in what seems like forever,
Yeah.
to finally be picking in the first round of the draft and high up at that. Like, very, very, and the draft's always a fun time, man. It's a fun time to speculate. It's a fun time to react. And yeah, finally they had a first round. It's a highly anticipated first round pick. So yeah, excited to see what happens, man. Yeah, good to see the fan base is re-energized and charged up. And who did the Browns pick, man? You've been following that? Do they get anybody? Do they even have any draft picks to pick in this draft?
They didn't have a first round pick.
No, okay.
They had a second round pick, but they actually traded with the Texans. The Texans jumped up. Pick. So that's how the Texans got the John with Biche. Biche, however you pronounce it. Yeah.
Or however you say it, I don't know.
Yeah, so the Texans they jumped up and made a trade, so that was pretty exciting. So
Cleveland looking like Texans North at this point. No draft picks.
I know. Hey, I will say
old
this.
Quarterback.
Yeah, I will say this, man. I think it's probably worth the draft picks.
Oh yeah, of course.
They got a damn quarterback.
Yeah,
but, I don't think Cleveland complaining too much.
Nah, they good. I mean, they already got a complete team, honestly, at this point. So
yeah, that's why I was telling a couple. Yeah, I was telling a couple people because I seen some people like, oh, they ain't got no draft. Look, they had draft pick for the past 20 fucking years, man. Like it's like if you told me I could trade 6 draft picks and get a franchise quarterback, I would have been did that. So look, man, they had all their draft picks. Shit, some of them just signed new contracts. So look, man, if they ain't got to pick in the next 3 rounds, I'm good with it, man.
Yep. Nah, I mean, look, they've been picking high for a long time now, and that ain't translated into anything until just now. So fuck it, y'all good.
Look at the Rams. Just say fuck them picks. They ain't have a pick in like 5 years, man. So
no, that's low key, actually high key. The trend now, like there's been graphs tracking how many people how many teams have been trading their first round picks, and it's like a record number now. This is kind of like the Golden State effect, where they just changed the entire league and what they thought about the game of basketball. That's how people view the draft now, man. It's like, if you're a good team, you don't need draft picks. Like, fuck it, trade them, get better players.
If I could tell you, I'll give you a first round pick for your best player, and you like shit, hell yeah, I take cool, because we're gonna be picking 29th anyway.
Yeah,
you're probably gonna be getting a project. So fuck it, I'd rather get a Pro Bowler, somebody that's already established for that pick, and just just use that as my draft pick. And the cap space is so funny, man. Like I don't even think that shit real, because you can fix it however you want. Because Rams at some point had like $1, like they was under the cap, and they out here still giving motherfuckers extensions. So yeah, man, like you can fix anything in the NFL, man. And them draft picks. Look, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, man, fuck them draft picks, man. Them draft picks ain't gonna do much.
Yeah, at this point, it's seeming like it, man. It's seeming like it. So, yeah. So, good luck to everybody who was drafted coming to Houston, H-Town. I know some people are already from here or have been from here. So, yeah, good to have them. Good number. Hopefully, get them on the podcast too, man. Come on, if y'all fuck with hip hop, new Texans players, make sure y'all come on the Jim Juice podcast, man. Yeah, we gotta do it big.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get one of them more. I'm gonna try to get one of them more. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. We gotta figure out their taste first, okay?
Yeah, Kenyon Green is from Humble.
Yeah. I think John Mechie is from he went to Baylor. I think he's from Houston too. So yeah, man, got some Houston natives up in here. Yeah, homegrown team. I fuck with it. I like it. Moving on in sports, the NBA playoffs have been heating up as well. We've had the Brooklyn Nets, who many thought would win the championship, much like the Lakers. They got swept by the Boston Celtics. You also had the Bulls beat the Bucks. You had the Warriors beat the Nuggets.
The Bucks beat the Bulls.
I mean, the Bull. Yeah, my bad. The Bucks beat the Bulls. The Warriors beat the Nuggets. 76ers beat the Raptors. Suns, of course, beat the Pelicans. No surprises in the NBA playoffs. The Mavericks beat the Jazz. And the Grizzlies are actually up 3-2 with the Timberwolves. So that's the only game that's kind of going down to any kind of, wire. Everything else was a sweep or gentleman's sweep, basically. Got to ask you about your boy Kyrie, though, man. Okay, that's another Cleveland player who is very controversial now. Also, the whole thing with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, who was everybody was reporting would be ready for Game 4. It was the last game they played, and he didn't even show up to the sideline this time. Before, he had been draped up and dripped out on the sideline while everybody else wearing black. And in Game 4, he did not play, and he did not even show up on the sideline. So yeah, and Kyrie is clapping back at Stephen A. Smith and all the other puppets, as he calls them, who are just trying to slander the black man. And yeah, so what are your thoughts on your boy Kyrie and the downfall of these Brooklyn Nets, man?
Look, my question, the one thing I thought about with this, because let's be clear, this was a man-made big three they put together. So, Kyrie and KD went there, and they eventually got James Harden, who was there, traded him. They got Ben Simmons, who didn't even play for him.
Yep.
To me, it showed you that that whole big three, let's team up together. That shit do not work, man. That shit probably will get you maybe a championship or two. From what we seen,
that's really good, actually, man.
So if you look at the Lakers, what they did, they got that one bubble championship, and now they look like shit, man. So it's kind of like, damn. It seemed like you better look at them and look at the Warriors. The Warriors didn't really have a man-made like all-star type of team. They actually drafted really well, and then they eventually got fucking KD, which made it even crazier. Got rid of him. I think they had a couple bad years, but now they back where they ain't even go through a awful rebuild. And it's like, damn, like look what happened in Miami. They just ran out of gas, man. After a while, like I just feel like, man, we seeing the end of the whole big three type of thing. I'm starting to see like more people rather stay, with their original team and kind of build up to that, kind of like Giannis did. So I guess that's a good thing because I guess we all had a little problem with superstars teaming up together, and that was kind of a LeBron thing a little bit. I know once LeBron retires, we probably won't see that as much. But Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about it, man, because the Brooklyn thing didn't work at all. They didn't even get to an NBA championship. So it was rough. I don't know what they're gonna do. I know the Lakers are in trouble, but I have no clue what Brooklyn gonna do. I think we might have talked about this on the podcast too. How like what the fuck is Steve Nash doing? I was saying that the day he got hired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, what sense do that make? Like what type of offense do we run? Like I had no clue what type of coach Steve Nash was. And now, that last series when they got swept, you kind of see what type of coach he was. Like that man wasn't doing a damn thing, man. And the crazy part about it looked bad because they got swept, but they were all in them games. They could have won them games. And if you would have had the right coach there, I think they possibly it could have been a 7-game series at least. I'm not saying they could have won, but they could have at least won 2 or 3 games. But I don't know what they're gonna do with the coach. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what's up with Ben Simmons, man. Do we even want to play? Everybody going in on him, calling him a quitter and soft and all type of shit. I don't know, man, but I kind of took joy into seeing the teams that we all had in the preseason that was supposed to face off in the finals, not even making the playoffs and getting swept in the first round. So I think we're seeing the end to this whole big 3 thing, man, or this super team thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I said it a few podcasts ago. It's funny that LeBron James both started and ended the super team era himself, basically.
Yeah.
He started in Miami with the Heat and ended it with this Lakers team, which is pathetic. So, yeah, man, I think the days of we're some good players, let's all link up and we're going to win a championship is dead now. You got the best team in the league being the Phoenix Suns, man. Like, look, everybody criticized them getting Chris Paul, who everybody thought was over the hill. This man just shot perfect from the field a couple days ago, man. Like, Devin Booker has emerged as a super all-star. So, like, look, they doing their thing, man. And, yeah, it's drafting and building up talent has gotten way more, has been brought back to the forefront. It's no longer, especially with these superstars taking breaks and days off and all this shit going on. Like, you can't trust that, man. So that's the one good thing about the Rockets right now is that you look at these teams that are organic and homegrown and you start to think like, okay, we can get there.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Suns were a joke for a long time, man. It took them a long time to get to where they are now. So if they can do it, if even the Pelicans can get up there after AD left.
Shit, even look at the Cavs, man. They ain't made the playoffs, but I damn sure ain't had them close to the playoffs at the beginning of the season. And they kind of turned it around real quick where they was a good team, but injuries kind of hit them hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think people starting to realize that we don't, I'm not saying we don't need LeBron or anything like that, but you don't need 3 max players like that and all these over the hill ex superstars on one team like that, man. And yeah, man, I think looking at teams like Memphis and shit like that, I think a lot of these and this the other thing too, man, like because you mentioned that whole, you might win 1 or 2 championships. Like how much do that championship really mean in LA that LeBron got?
But to be fair, that's just because it's LA. They've got a ton of banners up already. And also a lot of them probably didn't even like LeBron.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. But give that championship to, let's say, the Jazz, who never had one. They will definitely take one championship guaranteed over just building.
But would the Jazz have a super team like that in the first place?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think a lot of players are probably getting a little smart now, where they probably wouldn't even go to a super team because, like Kevin Durant, he got 2 championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do those championships really mean at this point? Do that like determine his legacy? We still kind of look at him as like, nah, this dude went to the Warriors and got those rings. So it's not like, oh shit. Nah, this dude, like, okay, this dude solidified now because he got 2 championships. Like that shit don't even mean nothing. So as a young player, why would you leave your team and go to the Warriors where they already stacked and have your legacy similar to Kevin Durant's, where people saying, oh, you ran away from your team and you went to a stacked team. So if I'm a young player, I'm better off staying where I'm at and building there, unless it clearly can't be built.
I mean, yeah, but like, look, people can't have it both ways because people judge your career on the amount of rings you got. That's the biggest knock against Chris Paul, that he don't have a ring. This man's at the very least top 3 point guard of all time, I feel, in the NBA's history. Like his numbers are ridiculous, man. You see his gameplay, you see his style. He is ridiculously efficient, but that's the one knock against him. He ain't got no rings. I'm hoping he gets one this year so they can finally shut that shit down. But they say your career don't mean as much if you don't get rings. So if you jump onto a team that is ring bound, that don't count either. Like people got to decide, do rings matter or do they not?
So do you respect KD more for winning those rings the way he won it?
But I'm not ring crazy like everybody else, man. Like I was still, if Akeem Olajuwon never won a championship but got to the finals twice, I would still look at him as one of the best centers ever. Because he drug, especially the first championship year where he drug a team who was, nobody without him and took them to a whole championship. Even if they just got to the finals, that's a huge victory, man. So I'm not somebody who's just ring crazy and say, whoever got the most rings is the best, or whoever has a ring is the best.
I feel like it's the Michael Jordan stance who kind of brought it. Because look, say what you want about this guy, but Charles Barkley was a beast, man.
Yeah.
And it's people like Kevin Durant and all these other and Draymond Green that's talking shit. Like this dude wasn't a fucking MVP during the Jordan era, man. Mm-hmm. And people look at him like, oh, you ain't win nothing. You ain't win nothing. Look, every superstar ain't gonna win a ring. And unfortunately, he was one of them. He got to the finals, but he ran into Jordan. So, look, man, like I feel like a lot of people probably respect Charles Barkley a little more, his career and body of work more than somebody like Kevin Durant. Even though I feel like Kevin Durant was, you could argue and say he's probably one of the best players we ever seen, skill wise. But just the way he kind of ran off and got the 2 rings so easy, it's just like, damn. Like, just imagine if KD stayed in OKC. And let's say they got to the finals again. They got to the finals maybe twice again, and he didn't win. We probably would still be like that. We probably look at Kevin Durant as like a Chris Paul, like, damn, like this dude's so good, but he just couldn't get that ring type thing. We wouldn't be looking at him as like a sucker or nothing.
Yeah. I mean, with Durant is unique too, because his own teammates in Golden State told him, we don't need you.
Yeah.
Draymond told him on the court, and we all heard it. He said, we don't need you.
Yeah.
And they really don't.
They don't. Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, they're already good again after a few years, and look where KD is. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's a unique situation. But, I mean, part of that is just the people's reaction to, the ring culture and judging people's legacy based sheerly off of championships. And, so it's a whole debate, man. We could have a whole First Take show about rings and all that shit. But that's just where that whole debate comes from. But anyway, exciting stuff going on in the NBA right now. So
real quick, I want to stick with sports. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard of this guy named Trevor Bauer. Pitcher. He pitched for the Cleveland Indians or the Cleveland Guardians now.
Yeah, get it right.
For the Dodgers. He just came down with a 324 game suspension,
Damn.
2 years of the regular season. So pretty, I guess it's because he was going through it looked like a sexual assault case. That it was. I don't know if you've
I
been.
thought he was cleared of that though.
I think
I thought he wasn't charged or something. I thought he was cleared of. I forget what actually happened, but I thought he was cleared. But I guess that don't affect what the MLB can do. But still, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So it did. I think he might have been clear of that, but you know how these leagues are. You still like violation of personal conduct and all this other bullshit they got. And they said he's appealing the suspension, but that's wild.
Wait. An LA judge denied the woman a permanent restraining order against Trevor Bauer, and the LA County District Attorney's Office declined to file criminal charges in February. Yeah. So to be clear, this is like the NFL suspending Deshaun Watson for 2 years.
That's exactly what it is. And
that's crazy, man. Look, I'm not saying he didn't do nothing wrong. I don't fucking know. But
see, we had this conversation with Deshaun. Remember, I brought the hypothetical up. If if he's clear of everything, don't have to pay anything, he don't settle. I feel like he should jump right back on the field, but that's not going to be the case. If he's clear of everything and don't have to pay anybody, he don't settle. Everything is good. He's still gonna get suspended. I just feel like that's kind of crazy. But
actually, another woman accused him, but this was after suspension actually took place or was announced. Another woman has come through and accused him as well. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck happened.
His stuff was a little more. This is crazy. This is a crazy part. His stuff was a little more serious than Deshaun, and I'm not trying to compare the two, but they actually had evidence against him. Like the girl had a picture with a black eye and marks all over on her neck and all that stuff. So it was way more serious than he say she say stuff like Deshaun. But I don't. It's crazy he got that much, that many games, man. I never seen that before outside of the lifetime ban.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Look, like I said, I don't know. But I will say, because I haven't been following the case super, super closely, but a few things I did see made it seem like they had like a BDSM type kinky shit going on, man.
Yeah.
To where like she knew what this was and he knew what this was, and that was just their thing. Yeah. Now look, that is stupid for anybody famous to do this type of shit to begin with, because you like fuck it. Even if a girl says she wants to be beat up by me, if I'm a fucking one of the best pitchers or best player in any sport or in anybody, fuck it, just me, my regular ass self, I'm gonna be like, hell no.
Yeah.
Because what's gonna happen when you decide or somebody tell you this ain't cool?
Yeah. So, and then I mean, look, this is a Law and Order case, man. We seen this episode a bunch of times of Law and Order, where the girl said he raped me. And he said, "Oh well, we planned it. She wanted it. Like we actually planned it. We booked the hotel. I was gonna come in with a mask and blah blah blah." blah. So, look, I think it's stupid for people to even do this, man.
It was really stupid.
I'm a married man, and I would not do this. This is goofy. So, he put himself in that situation, and the worst part about it is it was actual pictures of the girl all beat up. So it's like, damn, like, I mean, it's unfortunate if it wasn't all set up and, he was cleared, but this is a mess.
It really is, man. Like, it really is. So yeah, I mean, look, this could have repercussions in the NFL's decision about Deshaun Watson, honestly. Like you said, it's not as serious. I mean, he was not accused of beating anybody.
Yeah,
but
the key is there's no video or pictures. Yeah. If it was a video or a picture,
that's true.
Deshaun would be toast. He probably wouldn't even be in the league. But
That's true. But then you have to keep him like in the same circumstances of him not being charged criminally.
Yep. And then the NFL is in a fucked up position now because if Deshaun do get cleared of some stuff, or even if he do settle, it's gonna look bad if this dude only get like 4 games.
No, yeah.
And you're gonna have people comparing it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and that's the worst thing where because people are gonna compare and say, how come it's gonna be the reverse of
22 women.
Exactly.
22 women and he only got 4 games.
Exactly.
This guy got 2 years.
The right wing talking heads already got their tweets in the drafts.
Yeah.
Talking about how was Trevor Bauer, who wasn't charged criminally, got 2 years suspension, and Deshaun Watson got like 4 games. So it's coming. Prepare for it. So we'll see. But yeah, crazy story there, man. Very, very weird stuff. Look, man, I don't judge nobody's kinks, but some shit you just shouldn't be living out. Okay. I think, especially when you're rich and famous.
Yeah, I think you got a problem if you even thinking this is, a turn on to me. I never thought, beating somebody up was a turn on. Or
him and that fucking Army Hammer dude. Remember that dude? Who was Army Hammer?
Oh yeah, I remember
the actor who was like on his way to superstardom, and then he got accused of being a cannibal and wanting to eat women and sending all these creepy texts. He got blackballed.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy fetishes out there, man. People, maybe porn is a bad idea. Maybe we need to ban porn, dog. Like I've decided, like maybe we've gone too, and this is me talking.
I know, like, man. I'm shocked.
Maybe we've gone way too far down the rabbit hole, man. People are just too freaky now. Okay.
Yeah. What was the craziest porn category you ever looked at?
Oh, dog! Don't even ask me that question. I've seen everything. Like I've seen 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I've seen I'd never seen anything like super illegal. Like I'd never, because I wouldn't even want to see like no violent shit, so I ain't seen that. But yeah, I would say like fucking 2 Girls, 1 Cup gotta be the craziest type shit, man. That had to be the worst, honestly. But I don't know. All right. Other topics that happened this week. Megan Thee Stallion sat down with Gayle King for a tell-all interview about her encounter with Tory Lanez. In this interview, she basically, said that, basically things she had already said before, but for I guess the Gayle King watching audience. She talked about the night where she was shot. She also said that they did not have a sexual relationship. They did not have a sexual relationship together, apparently, which was the most shocking thing to me, because I think we all assumed that. Yeah. I mean, I thought they were dating, and I did not know.
She said they
did not.
Yeah.
She said they were just close friends.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of strange, but I don't know. Did you see this? And what were your thoughts on it, if you have any?
So I seen it. I watched it. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
And first of all, it was a little weird with Gayle King interviewing her.
Mm-hmm.
And how she kept.
You can tell she has no idea who these people are.
The way she was calling her name, Thee Stallion. It sounded like a computerized voice.
Yeah.
When you type a name in a system and it just spit out the name. And I was just like, man, she have no idea who she is. I'm like, damn, she could at least take her fucking broadcast voice off whenever she's saying her name. Like just imagine a news anchor saying the rapper name in the news anchor voice. That's how she sounded. But look, man, I was kind of shocked, man. You know where we stood the whole time. We was kind of, Team Meg. But I don't know what's going on, man, because some of the stuff she was saying didn't make any sense. And like we said, we wasn't there. There's more to the story. She mentioned how, it started because she was ready to go. And I guess it just escalated from there. I felt like there's more to it there. and it didn't sound right. And like I said, everybody got their own side of the story, and I'm sure she's leaving a lot out. But just hearing that on public TV like that, to me, it kind of make her look like the bad person, man. Because this all started because you was ready to go, you was ready to leave, and it escalated to somebody shooting a gun. So that didn't really sound right. And like you said, Gayle asked her if they were in a intimate relationship, and then she said describe intimate. It's like, all right, Meg, like what intimate
Yeah.
is. Like
That sounded like the fucking Bill Clinton.
That's
And she even made a joke about it.
Yeah.
Did you have sexual relationships with that man? Like, you knew what that was what the weird thing about it, man.
Yeah.
Because she knew what she was talking about.
Come on now. Like, if I ask you, hey, have we had an intimate relationship together? Your answer is hell no. You ain't about to say no. Describe what do intimate mean? Like, it's yes or no, right? And for her to say that, I was just like, no.
Yeah,
Like,
it was strange.
Yeah, I dropped my head. I was like, no. Like, this is not a good look. And then she said they didn't, which was shocking to me. So it's like, how did it even get to this then? You know what I mean? Because it seemed like what they going through is like a bad breakup. And it just didn't sound right, man. And like I said, I've been supporting her from the beginning. I just look, man, I'm not saying I'm switching sides or anything like that, because we don't know what happened. But like, I don't know what's going on, man. I think this interview was a bad mistake. I think it was a mistake doing it. I'm kind of curious to why this came out right now during the case, because it seemed like it makes sense for this to come out after everything was resolved. But for the simple fact, stuff is still going on, and this interview, just so happened to drop. I'm kind of curious if the case isn't looking too good for her side, where this is kind of a Hail Mary to win the court of public opinion over. Because you see, look, man, I think she might be down 3-2 at this point, man. And maybe they trying to win the favor over a little bit, but it's not really looking good. And I don't know what happened, man. But I think this interview was a mistake. It made her seem this the thing when people try to do stuff like this. Like, you can't make yourself seem too good and innocent. We talked about this with the Dr. Dre movie, the Straight Outta Compton. He looked too fucking innocent, man. where it was too innocent to the point where Michelet decided to make her version of it. Now, if he would have been honest and put some of his trouble past in there, maybe Michelet probably wouldn't have made a movie, explaining her side. But I think with this, I think Meg came off as just too perfect. Like, and I'm not sitting here saying, she deserved to be shot or anything like that, but something else happened. She made it seem like, I was just ready to go home, and one thing led to another. And we all know it was something else that happened. But people not talking. But the other thing, I really had a problem with this interview too, because we all know Tory can't say anything about her. Tory can't even say that girl or she. He can't tweet. He can't say shit, man. And he pretty much got to stay quiet. And she out here dropping these interviews, man. I know it got to be tough. And I don't give a shit about Tory Lanez. So I'm not sitting there trying to feel sorry for him, but it's just not a good look, man. And I hope the truth come out somehow, because it looked like she was definitely shot. So I don't think I think people need to quit saying that she didn't get shot, because I think clearly she was shot, but we don't know the whole story. And yeah, man, I think she made a mistake by releasing this interview or doing this interview now.
Yeah, I was surprised she did it. I was surprised it was with Gayle King. Because like you said, she don't know these people, man. And most of the Gayle King watching audience don't know who Tory Lanez is. So it's like this would be more of an interview of like a Charlemagne, I feel, or somebody who's more like a hip hop person, to where they can know and ask questions and actually know what the fuck they're talking about. But with this, it was just like, I want the Oprah crowd on my side, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's like she knows she lost the black crowd,
yeah.
the hip hop crowd, because everybody's still, taking Tory side.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, that's actually a good point that maybe she feels, because there's already the rumors going around that, the celebrities and people in the music industry know something we don't. And
Yeah.
that's why a lot of them are trying to distance themselves from Megan Thee Stallion right now, or unfollowing her, or whatever they're doing, because they might know something, or they haven't publicly gone to her side. Because who else? Nobody. Like, we were talking about this when it first happened, how nobody really relevant in music right now took Megan Thee Stallion's side when it first happened and was reported. And we're like, why? And maybe we're going to find out sooner or later why nobody took her side. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. My entire stance has been like yours. We weren't there. We don't know what the fuck happened, man. I'm not a Tory Lanez fan at all, but I do agree with what you said as well. That's my first thought about it. I feel like every person should have a chance to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. No matter what. And you can say he was wrong for giving that DNA evidence stuff to DJ Academics, which I understand, like, that's court stuff and you leaking it out to a hip hop journalist, whatever. That's goofy. But the fact that she can go on TV and talk about you, and you can't even tweet about her.
He got arrested.
Yeah, he can't say anything. He can't defend himself or explain his side of the story. And I think that's unfair, man. Like I said, he might be a scumbag who shot her for real. I don't know. But everybody deserves a chance to clear their name and respond to allegations. And the fact that he can't right now, I mean, it's kind of shitty, and maybe that's why she was so bold about saying that they didn't have a sexual relationship. Because what can he do? He can't say that's cap.
Yeah.
So
it's really troubling, man.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to bring the whole race thing in it, but as a black man, and if you accuse of something, Tory Lanez said he didn't do it, or whatever he said. If you really didn't do it, and you can't even say you didn't do it because you'll go to jail, or you can't mention anything, that's really troubling, man.
It really is, man. And like I said, I wanted to be on Megan Thee Stallion's side very badly. Like, look, we liked her. We like her. And my whole stance was, okay, in the beginning, she didn't even want to make this a big deal. She just got relentlessly called out online for lying. And she wasn't even talking about it.
Yeah.
But with this Gayle King interview, I'm like, okay, so what are your real intentions here? You got new music coming out. You just performed at Coachella. Your music career is taking off. And you honestly, like, look, I know they're in court, but career-wise, you should not still be talking about the Tory Lanez incident.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, it should be settled in court, and you should move on with your career. Because I never figured her to be somebody about this type of drama. She was always the hot girl, partying, having fun, turning up and rapping. So I would figure she wants to get all this behind her. So to do a Gayle King interview now, like a year after it happened, and just now get your story out, it does seem kind of like, okay, maybe this court thing isn't going to work out the way you thought it would. But you can't drop out now because you're already too deep in it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Very, very troubling. I wonder if Rock Nation put her up to it. I
Mm.
wonder if this was a decision by her management to get in front of it. I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to do it, but yeah, I don't know. It's looking rough, man. I can't
Yeah.
lie. It's looking kind of rough now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. The another thing that was kind of eye opening for me was how vocal Joe Budden is about it. He was
Yeah.
like tearing their ass up about it. He was just like, man, look, she ain't fucking crying. He was like going in on his interview. I'm like, damn, and he been kind of anti Meg for a minute when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he in the industry, so I'm sure he probably heard what really happened
Yeah.
and was like, nah, fuck that. I'm rolling with Tory on this type thing. But yeah, man, like he was tearing her up about that interview, man. Like, look, she ain't even not a tear fell down her eye during this interview. Like she trying to force herself to cry. And I was just like, man, like I wonder who is putting her up to this, man. If is this her or is this strictly management, man? Because it's hard for me to believe that she want to do this because she seemed like the type that just want to make music and live her life, and and leave this bullshit alone. But it's not looking good, man. Prayers to everybody. I hope everybody come out strong, but this is not looking good.
Yeah, I know, man. Because look, we're already going through this whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, where we found out that she was committing a lot of the abuse, and they had her on tape saying, "What you gonna do? You gonna say I abused you? You think they gonna believe you?" They had her on tape saying this shit, man. So like I'm not saying that Megan Thee Stallion's thinking this or doing this, but look, man, these allegations are heavy, and they fucked up his entire career. So if they're true, it was deserved. If not, then there's got to be some kind of repercussion for her.
Yeah.
But we'll find out soon enough, man. We'll find out the truth eventually. And yeah, like you said, all we can do is just hope for the best. But it is what it is.
Yeah. How would you feel if maybe let's say the truth don't really come out yet, but the case is dismissed, where Tory is good, he's cleared, they won't charge him or whatever the case is, and there's nothing here, move on type thing. How would you feel towards Meg at this point?
Because here's the thing. Here's a difficult thing. Like, and we talk about the whole thing with the Sean. Just because you're not charged or the case is dismissed doesn't mean you're innocent. So I'm not going to be the type who's all of a sudden pro-government and courts and the law and police.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're that, you got to be that all the time.
Like
George Zimmerman when George Zimmerman got off, you got to have the same opinion, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be one to jump out the window for the law.
I'm proud to be an American.
Exactly.
I love our legal system. System got it right.
Because whenever it's a decision that we agree with, suddenly it's the law said it, so of course it's right.
You seen what Nino Brown did when he walked out? He was like, "Yeah, I'm proud to be an American. Justice system is good."
Yep. Telling you every time people act like that, man. But then when it's something they don't like, see, the system is corrupt and racist and don't care about black people. Okay, it's either one or the other, man. But
you said it with Deshaun, man. Deshaun wasn't charged. It was like, people start throwing out the percentage of cases that don't get to trial and don't get charged, and he still did it.
Yeah, he's innocent. Yep. Same thing with OJ. Hey, it was acquitted. So hey, you didn't do it.
He ain't do it.
Like, look, man. So I wouldn't take that as an immediate admission that nothing happened here and Tory Lanez wasn't at fault. But like I said, everybody deserves a chance to defend themselves. And if things didn't happen the way Megan is alleging it, then she got to answer for something.
Yeah.
Because this man's career was fucked up and ruined. People forget, like, he was on a rocket ship. with the pandemic shit he was doing, those Instagram live videos, like he was on everybody's albums, like he was doing big things. And then this happened, and then he couldn't do shit. So I don't know, man. I think my belief has been both sides were doing fucked up shit that night, which is most likely. And but only one side's paying for it right now. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe Meg just wanted to go and shit just popped off after that. And something else happened. So
the dance bitch while you shooting at her feet is like, look, man, that's like some cartoon shit. Like, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. When you're on coke, who knows what could happen, man, or whatever he was probably doing that night. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. But we will find out more. And somebody, if somebody's lying here, somebody got to pay. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Other things that happened this week. DaBaby, I guess something happened with him. Some shooting footage was released from 2018 where he like killed somebody in Walmart, allegedly.
Yeah, so that was released after yet another fight he had backstage with one of his artists.
No, okay.
So he got to, I don't know if you've seen this.
I think I missed it.
Okay, yeah, he got into another fight. It was with one of his artists. And when I tell you this fight looked like a fucking old ass WWF backstage ambush, this shit looked fucking hilarious. I need to try to find it to show you, but yeah, so shortly after that, the Walmart video released showing the incident where he actually killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't realized that was inside of Walmart. I thought it was like outside of it. I thought it was like a thing, you know, walking to the car type thing, but it was actually inside the Walmart. That was troubling, man. Like, just imagine you walking through Walmart on a late night and some niggas in there get the rumbling and somebody pull a gun out and kill him in aisle fucking 12.
Honestly, that's the reason why I don't go to Walmart no more, man. I'd seen some crazy shit in the hood Walmarts before. I done seen people look like they was overdosing and they had the paramedics come out. Like, I've seen wild shit at Walmart, man. So, like, look, that's just what happens. But yeah, man. Look, DaBaby ain't getting canceled. It is what it is. This is typical DaBaby behavior at this point. People expect this from him. So, like, whatever. Did you hear Elon Musk is buying Twitter? Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Are you leaving? No, people are apparently there's a mass exodus of people wanting to leave now that Elon Musk is buying Twitter.
Yeah, I heard
he gonna pack it up.
I heard he said he was trying to make Twitter where it's free speech again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in light of people getting banned for speaking on shit, I guess. But I don't know. What is it gonna do for me?
Yeah,
because I feel like Twitter always change anyway. But I am intrigued of what he planned on doing with it, because that's, to me, I mean, I know it's Elon Musk, but I feel like he a fucking genius for making the fucking Tesla, first of all. So I'm kind of curious what he planned on doing with Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, all he be doing on Twitter is shit posting, which I respect because I be posting shit too. But look, I don't know. We'll see. But it is funny how people always complain about how uptight and rigid Twitter is and how you get banned for everything and can't say shit no more. And I wish it was back like it was in 2009. Then Elon says, "Oh, hey, I'm buying Twitter. We gonna make it lit like it used to be." And everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm leaving."
Yeah,
y'all alt-right people are just gonna take over, and it's gonna be terrible. Like, look, man, do you want it like it was or not?
See, that's the crazy thing, man. I still feel like Twitter is crazy. It'd be some crazy ass shit on here still, to me. I feel like the people that's complaining about it are the people that's like into the politics and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And those are a lot of the people that's getting banned and blocked and all that shit. So outside of that, man, it's still pouring on Twitter. It's still all type of crazy shit on there, man. So like I don't understand. Like I feel like that 09 Twitter run, that's kind of a moment, man, because that's when people didn't really, people was out there just having fun, talking to people they don't know. People wasn't trying to be Hollywood on there. It was really fun. We was using hashtags to have fun pretty much. Now everything is promoting everything. We trying to look like we bigger than what we are. We too cool for school, and ain't no, people ain't trying to follow you back because they don't want to look weird and all this other shit. It's all type of weird behavior going on now. So it would never get back to the 09 thing, because the 09 part, it wasn't really that bad like that, to the point where it was that open. I don't think, because I still think it's kind of open to a certain point, but just to me, just the politics, the LGBT stuff, certain stuff you can't say on there, you'll get blocked or banned. I think that's the stuff that you can't really do. But I mean, was we really doing that back in the day in 09? I felt like it was a point in time where politics wasn't really taking over our lives like how it is now. And we was actually, on Twitter having fun and meeting new people and having a good time.
Yeah. Look, I ain't leaving Twitter, man. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I ain't leaving Twitter. Even when I take a break, like, look, I ain't leaving Twitter, man. It's too much fuckery, too much fun, too many jokes. Like, look, it's clean your timeline if you got a fucked up feed and only see fucked up shit all the time, man. Because promise you, there's a lot of good on Twitter still and funny shit. So I ain't leaving, man. I don't. Nothing Elon Musk can do is gonna make me leave Twitter, man. So I ain't even worried about it.
Yeah, like I said, they won't ever get back to 09.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these, sports reporters and different people on here that's on there for work, and they have these made up rules like, oh, you can't say this, or you can't tweet this, or you can't do this. Like it's never getting back to 09. Mm-hmm. So I think what it is now, I don't think it's that bad now, man. People keep saying, oh, you can't do, it's not how it used to be. Like, no shit.
I mean, people still say what they want, but they get banned for it.
Yeah,
and tweets get deleted all the time now. So yeah, it's rougher than it used to be, but I mean, it's still funny.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked more people not really on it, because I see some of my Facebook friends like, oh, I don't do Twitter, like, and people on Instagram, oh, I don't do Twitter. Who want to sit there and tweet about what they're doing? Like, clearly you haven't been on Twitter in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you still thinking people tweeting about what they had for lunch, like, nah, you could get the scoop on Twitter, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all you got to do, if you hear something about Meg or Tory, you could just type that shit in the search bar and see what everybody's saying, man, and find out what's going on.
Yep. And people talking about how Black Twitter would be decimated if Elon Musk. I'm like, probably the bad version of Black Twitter, the version who only talks about fucking gender wars all day and fucking $200 dates and shit. Like, I could live without that shit ever again. So if y'all want to go, good riddance. I'm sick of seeing Russell Wilson and Sierra takes. Like, if y'all want to leave, please y'all leave Twitter. Please, y'all get so offended by Elon Musk buying Twitter that you leave. All y'all people who talk about the same shit every single day, please leave Twitter. I'm asking you nicely. Please leave when Elon buys it, because that will be refreshing to see some new discussions, maybe.
I know. If I ain't got to talk about Russell Wilson again, I would be fucking happy. Like, I would talk about him on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to hear. Look, man, I don't want to hear no more debates about his marriage.
Yes,
and how, corny is cool and all this other bullshit, and how niggas don't really like being married. They don't like a man treating a woman nice. That's why they don't like, which is bullshit, because there's all type of married athletes out here that look good, and niggas don't say nothing about them. So I think it's kind of funny when women bring that shit up.
Yeah.
Like
Another.
we not sitting there talking about Tiana Taylor, and we not sitting on Iman Shepherd. We ain't sitting there calling him corny.
Yep.
So that's a happily married couple. So that's
only
all.
Russell Wilson, man. It's only Russell Wilson. So yeah. I, if y'all want to leave Twitter, I will be okay with it. Other things. Did you watch Coachella? It was I think it was live streamed. Happened this past couple of weekends. I forget, were there any highlights? Anything big happen at Coachella?
The only highlights I seen was Meg. I heard she put on a really good show. And she performed the song, which is out now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out at the time when she performed it. But she got a song called Plan B.
Yeah, I heard it with the Freaking You remix beat. That shit's hard.
Yeah, that shit was hard. And it was a totally different style. It was funny because I seen a headline on Twitter saying how Meg got real vulgar in this song. She performed at Coachella. I was just like, ain't that's every song she got? She pretty vulgar in every fucking song. Like they made it seem like, she got real sexual in this one. And I was just like, all right, like the sky's blue. But yeah, she performed that. That was probably the most positive thing I seen about Meg in a minute. Because people was really, hyping this that performance up. So that was the highlight. I didn't really see anything about the Weeknd.
Yeah.
He was the guy that he was the one that
replaced Kanye.
Yeah, I ain't really see anything about that. But yeah, another highlight of the Coachella was Isaiah Rashad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He actually performed. This was the first time he made any type of appearance or anything since the video came out. And he had a little collage, like a video collage of everyone pretty much talking about that video. And everybody, the media and all this stuff reported that video. And after that, he just came out and started performing. So he still didn't actually do an interview or say anything about it. But I guess he kind of pretty much said, hey, it is what it that video was, it is what it is. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
So he didn't like vocally say, hey guys, about that video, or he ain't do none of that. He just had a collage of the whole a collage of all the media outlets addressing it and giving opinions on it. And then he just came out and started performing this shit, and the crowd went crazy, man. So I'm glad he back performing.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of over dramatic for what it was. I mean, he did the Ice Cube, here's what they think about you montage for sucking dick on camera. Like, like, man, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Okay. Yeah. Live your truth. Like, we all know that he ain't the only one in the industry by far. So like, look, just get back to making music, man. He ain't got to talk about it or address. I'm sure he'll talk about it at some point, but I don't know.
I actually like
for me.
I actually like the way he did it, because it wasn't like an interview. It wasn't like, hey, let me tweet something or release a video. It was just kind of a build up on stage, because that could have been anything.
Yeah,
that could have been a video or anything, building up to him coming out on stage. Did that, didn't even address it, just kept going, man. So, I mean, that's all we need to know. And shit, like I said, the crowd went crazy. I ain't really seen nothing negative too much about it. So maybe hip hop is getting somewhere, man. Maybe we get to a place where it might be shit normal, a little normal.
Yeah,
not really a big ass headline where we don't have to talk about this.
Yeah. I don't think we're there yet. But I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows?
We might be getting a little close, man, because like I said, this ain't really dominate the headlines like that. He performed, he kept going. People talked about the show more than the actual beginning. So yeah, maybe people don't really care.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, people just get past this
Yeah.
whole thing. Cause yeah, I don't know. I never really gave a shit to begin with. Whatever you do in your bedroom, it's your business, man. Anything else?
Are you keeping up with the fake Lil Durk?
What's going on with him? What's he doing now? I saw him. He linked up with the fake Drake. Who people gave that fake Drake a little too much. Okay, he don't look like Drake at all, really.
He don't. No, he just got
number one. He about 25 pounds heavier, and he don't really look like. I think the video that came out was so blurry and bad that we said, "Oh, hey, you kind of look like Drake," but looking at him in the sunlight, that dude don't really look like Drake, man.
Yeah,
just because he got the heart emblem in his hair, don't mean he Drake. Yeah, and he light skinned. He don't look like Drake, man.
Yeah, but so the fake Lil Durk, so apparently, which is weird, he kind of been going around playing the fake Durk, and Tekashi 6ix9ine and this crew pretty much pulled up on him, and I don't want to say they ambushed him, but they kind of, I think they kind of surrounded him a little bit. They put on a King Von some type of jacket on. They was pretty much clowning him a little bit. So the fake Lil Durk pretty much had to get on Instagram and explain what happened and all type of bullshit. It's a lot going. I don't understand why motherfuckers is still paying Tekashi 6ix9ine any attention.
I was gonna ask that too, because he is making a resurgence, and apparently like these gang niggas are fucking with him again.
Yeah.
So it's like there really is no integrity in this shit, man.
It's not. And
it's
then
disgusting.
The worst part about it is like I'd be disappointed that people like Lil Durk. I think 42 Doug said something about him, and they going back and forth. It's like, why is y'all entertaining this dude, man? He wants this. He was damn near dead because nobody was paying him no attention. And all it takes is somebody like Lil Durk to say something, and he alive again. So yeah, so it's a lot going on with the fake Lil Durk, and yeah, he in some drama pretty much. so
yeah. I'm not even, nothing surprises me anymore, man, with these new niggas at this point. Like, look, ain't no street codes, ain't no integrity, ain't no fucking, like, all this shit's goofy now, man. All this shit's played out.
Yeah.
So
as long as those street niggas getting paid,
of course. So,
that's all that matters. They don't care if you a rat or not.
I don't give a shit, man.
Yeah, protect.
That is what it is. Anything else happened this week?
Have you caught up with the show Winning Time?
Oh yeah. I was gonna bring that up. So Jerry West is apparently trying to sue the creators of the Lakers-based show Winning Time for an inaccurate portrayal of him. I think everybody who is involved or mentioned in this show has a problem with it. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jerry West. I'm sure the Bus family probably ain't happy about it either. So I'm pretty sure everybody who is portrayed in this show has a problem with how they're portrayed in this show.
Yes.
But Jerry West apparently is so upset he wants to sue them about it. So
yeah, I kind of got a little theory on this, on why he might be doing this. I think I got my investigation music on.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I got a little theory on why he could be suing or trying to jump out there quick. So I watched the first couple episodes, and I ain't grow up in the Jerry West days. I wasn't around, obviously, during that time, but apparently he was a big asshole. And the way he was acting in the show was kind of, I don't want to say it was accurate, but it was kind of a little truth there. And so in the first couple episodes, he made it clear that he did not want the Lakers to draft Magic Johnson, and he was the coach then. And he did not want Magic Johnson. He wanted Larry Bird over Magic Johnson. And I don't know how true that was. I don't know if that was a real conversation, but the way he was acting towards Magic Johnson, like he never wanted him, I think he eventually quit being a coach after they knew they was going to get him. And I feel like right now, because look, right now he's the logo, right? He's the NBA logo.
Mm-hmm.
In this day and age, man, I feel like a lot of people not really watching this show as much, or at least Black Twitter or woke Twitter. But looking at this, I can see a point where some of the people on Twitter or the fake woke people will try to stretch this and say, "Oh man, he's coming off as racist." Like, no, look how he treat Magic Johnson in this show, and it might come off as real. Like they might feel like he really did that for real. And you know, the next step they'll probably do, they'll probably try to, we talked about this before. They'll probably try to change out that logo, saying, "Hey, he out here being racist. Let's try to get rid of this logo." So my little theory is he probably trying to jump in front of this to, I guess, just in case somebody come out here and try to make some type of accusation like that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know anything about Jerry West, but in my opinion, I felt like the show is really making them look like a slime ball, man. Especially the part where he didn't want Magic Johnson at all. And this was like in 79, 79 to 80, where, somebody like Magic Johnson was, there's no way in hell we could have somebody like that on our team type thing. Like, this dude's too flashy, all the passes behind the back and all that was everything they were saying in the show on why they didn't want Magic Johnson. So I can see, this probably won't happen, but I can see where it'd be a far stretch where people try to say, "Hey, this guy's the logo. We need to get him out of here because look what look what this show is portraying him to be," type thing. So I can see why he probably upset about it. Like, "Hey, nah, this is not true. I'm gonna try to take this show down," and all type of shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Because I don't think, number one, the show is trying to go through great pains to prove that this is not an accurate portrayal of what happened. This is a dramatization for entertainment purposes. Like, that's their whole defense in this. For everybody who complains about it, they made a statement too. So yeah. I don't think he fear. Like, look, he just don't like being portrayed in a shitty way. I don't think he fears like they're gonna take me from the logo, And like we said before about the fucking logo thing, you have to be told that logo is Jerry West. Most people don't even know. Like, he didn't get no money for that shit. He didn't get they're not paying him for his image because it's a silhouette of a person. Okay, you have to be told that Jerry West was the logo to know it was him. Because if he never said anything or anybody never said anything, you wouldn't even know it was him.
No, I get that part, but you know how social media can be, man. They can turn somebody's life upside down just by off of accusations that probably won't even be true. So I can see, like, even though the makers of the show did come out and say, "Hey, we just we put a little sauce on it to make the show look better," he can still have a problem with it, man, because.
Yeah, he is upset about it. I understand that. I know he's upset about the way he's being portrayed. I'm just saying I don't think he would think it would go that far. He just don't like nobody likes being portrayed in a shitty way, especially when you're somebody who's only gotten love in the most recent years. Like, yeah, I understand why he's upset.
But I still feel like he could. I mean, if it do go that, like I said, I don't feel like a lot of people watching this show enough to cause a storm like this. But if it was a popular show, I feel like it could get him in a lot of trouble. Where it's like, damn, this guy was a shitty person like this, and this guy is still. I don't even know if is he still a executive or something. I don't even know what he's doing now. He might. I don't think he worked with the Lakers now, but if he was like the executive for the Warriors or something, like, I can see how that could potentially fuck up his job or something, man. But like I said, it's not that far yet because you don't really see a lot of people talking about this show that much. But like that would irritate me if somebody made a series about me working at this radio station and I'm coming across as a shitty person, a racist person, possibly. And they say, hey, we know it's all not true, but we just putting a little extra sauce on it. Like I would be like, no, man, because that's not true at all. Like I'm not this person. And it can still kind of affect my job a little bit if I'm still working in that field where they might want to move on from me because they feel like that's a little accurate. And it ain't no telling what's accurate and what's not accurate. Because it's one thing if we say, hey, this part where you threw the trophy through the glass, that's not true. So don't believe that part. So it's not like they're giving us a clear, part of what's true and what's not true. But yeah, I could kind of see why he pissed, man, because he look like Magic Johnson. I don't think he give a shit. Mm-hmm. He's just like, hey, it is what it is.
No, he don't like it either. He's already said it. He don't like it.
Yeah, he don't like it. Yeah, he mentioned how he wished it was people around that time that was part of it, where it could be more accurate. But it is interviews of him talking about all the women he been with. So I don't think he really give a shit like that much where he trying to sue. But Jerry West, he it seemed like he going all out, like he got shit to lose, because anybody else would have just said, like he could have easily just said, hey, that's not true. Like none of this, like this show is bullshit. The show sucks. It's not true, and keep it moving. But it seemed like he taking the extra step to like try to. I don't want to say trying to take the show off the air or nothing, but it seemed like he going the extra mile.
Yeah, seems like it. I did check. He is an executive board member with the Clippers. So, yeah, he could be trying to protect his image and job. I don't know what's going through his head. I haven't seen the show, admittedly, so I can't even tell how bad he looks, but apparently he's very upset about it. But whatever, man. He'll live. I'm sure. I don't know if he has a case even. Because look, there's all the documentaries and all the
all type of movies
exactly.
and shows that do this, man. So
exactly. So yeah, I don't think he really
has. I never seen anybody take a production down like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think the only time I seen something like this happen was like, remember the show Playmakers that was on ESPN?
Yeah, he took it off.
Yeah, I think the NFL said, nah, nope.
No, yeah, definitely.
So they put a halt to that. We gonna stop playing games on ESPN if y'all keep airing it.
Yep.
But Jerry West, he ain't nothing he could do.
Yeah, they have the NBA. What's the NBA gonna do to HBO? They don't air no games on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna be okay.
You can make anything you want, man. Like you see, man, look, you seen the Aaliyah movie that was on Lifetime.
I didn't see it,
yeah. Not saying actually seen it, but it actually happened. And her family, Timberland, everybody was like trying to stop that shit from coming out.
Yeah,
and they couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what happens when you're a public figure.
People have creative license. I am shocked he trying to sue.
Yeah,
damn, bro, what you trying to hide, man?
Could be. Who knows? Stranger things have happened in this world. Any other topics we missed out on? I think that about wraps it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick stroll down the timeline, see if anything missed. We can probably put this one in the books. What's up?
Oh yeah, now I was gonna say you got your hip hop worst verses, or did you want to say?
Yeah, I'll do that next time. It's getting kind of late in the podcast. I'll do that next time. But yes, I'm going to take to task people who are slandering the good name of Goo, because I'm tired. There's a specific take in hip hop that I'm tired of seeing, and it involves him. And so I'm going to explain why y'all are all wrong. But I'll do that next time. That's going to be the tease. Stay tuned next week. Dog, that reminds me of Stephen A. Smith when Kyrie Irving was making them tweets. And he was like, oh, I'm going to take this brother down. You don't even know what I know. Stay tuned to First Take tomorrow morning. I'm going to address it all. He was like on NBA Countdown. But, that's not his show.
Yeah.
So he has
Oh,
to
he's teasing
promo.
for
He's
this
doing
show.
he doing a promo for First Take on
Yeah.
NBA Countdown after an
Fucking
NBA
wrestling
game,
promo.
right? Let me tell you something, brother.
Monday Night Raw. You don't want to miss this.
Tomorrow night on SummerSlam, because they always promote the fucking pay-per-view, and I used to make me mad because we can never afford the pay-per-views, man. Them
I
shits are
know.
like $70.
Yeah.
No kid could afford no fucking WWF pay-per-view, and every week they'd hype it up. Tomorrow at SummerSlam, The Rock and Stone Cold settle it once and for all. I'm like, y'all killing me. Why can't y'all fight tonight?
The worst part about it is they do an in-ring thing where they all dressed up in the suit, non-wrestling clothes, and then they just start beating each other ass.
That's the worst thing they do now, dog. They do They do a contract signing for the WrestleMania event.
Yes,
nigga, they take a whole segment of Monday Night Raw to sign a contract for a match at WrestleMania. Like,
yeah,
nigga, y'all already what the fuck? That's what's weak about wrestling. Because I remember back in the days, they used to build it up, but they would have like a tag match. Like, let's say it's gonna be The Rock and Stone Cold at WrestleMania. Before then, the week before, or the Monday Night Raw before the pay-per-view, they would do something where they had like a tag match with The Rock and The Undertaker versus Stone Cold and Kane. So you at least get like a preview of the pay-per-view. Now it's like we gonna sit in a table in the middle of the ring and sign a contract for the match.
And they be so extra with it.
Yeah.
They snatch the pen.
Give me the pen.
Yeah, and they sitting there looking. And they snatch the fucking paper.
Yeah.
And then they sign it.
And somebody started attacking somebody, and then they slide out the ring. Yeah,
they throw the pen at each other.
Yeah. The bad guy slides out the ring and runs away.
Yeah. or either they be fighting, rolling in a circle, and like a million referees come out to try to break it up.
Yep.
And then Michael Cole be sitting there. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! SummerSlam! Stone Cold! What? This is madness!
Losing his damn mind, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even see the shit.
That used to kill me, man. I used to watch it scrambled, hoping that the picture would clear up for a second so I could see something. Never did.
Man, I was so pressed, man. I had to go to the fucking library to fucking read about it, man. Because WWF, they used to have like their website. They used to recap in words of what what happened type shit. I used to have to fucking read that shit just to see what happened, man. It was that bad because, like I said, I ain't had cable. I ain't even had I couldn't even watch Monday Night Raw. So I had to fucking go to we ain't have a computer. We ain't had internet. So I had to go to the computer, sign into the computer. You only get a little 2-hour window.
Yeah.
Because somebody else was behind you. So I had to fucking read about what happened during SummerSlam or WrestleMania or some shit. That was a struggle, man.
These kids don't know how good they have it,
all they gotta do is subscribe to fucking
Peacock for like $6 a month.
And they get
you get WrestleMania every paper, and you can even watch the old ones.
Yes.
Like, what?
You watch WrestleMania for 2 days straight, man. That's insane, man. That's crazy.
We used to have to rent it from Blockbuster if it was even still there, like months later after it happened.
We always had one person who was fortunate enough to rent it or order it. They would record it on tape.
Yeah.
Then we would like bring it to school and beg the teacher, can we watch this? Can we watch this? We got some free time, or we had to go over somebody's house and watch it via VHS. So man, that shit was crazy, man.
Yeah, we used to go over my cousin's boyfriend. He used to be really big. I think he might still be, but they ain't together no more. But he was really big in the WWF, and we always used to go to his house to watch the pay-per-views because he ordered every one. And that's the only way we could watch it is to go to his house and watch the pay-per-view. So we go over their house and we watch the whole thing, man. It's the only chance we had to watch fucking WrestleMania 17 in Houston, which I didn't get to go to. But
I watched one pay-per-view one time My sister, she let me order it at her house. I think it might have been like $50 or $60 or something like that. I think. And I think it was like Backlash or something. I don't even know if they still have that, but
yeah, I don't think they do anymore.
WWE Backlash. And man, when I tell you I was so fucking happy, I'm like, man, like this shit, coolest shit ever, man. So it was, man, those was the days, man.
Yeah, no, it really was, man. Wrestling was something else. It's hard to explain really to kids who weren't around in that era what wrestling was back then. Because you watch it now and it's like, it's not all bad, but it's nowhere near what it used to be, man. You used to think like the world was ending when some niggas were about to fight.
Yeah.
Like they hyped the promos and the way they
thought they didn't like each other in real life.
Yes.
Now
they didn't. But
now motherfuckers be doing interviews in the same room.
They be tweeting at each other. I'm like, y'all niggas don't even care to make it look real no more.
Yeah.
Shit goofy.
Yeah, everybody friends and cool taking selfies together. That's the one thing I don't like about this era, man, because you never seen that. Like I thought Stone Cold Steve Austin was like dead ass real. Like if you see him in the grocery store, you're gonna see Stone Cold and
you thought he was really trying to kill Vince McMahon.
Yes, I thought he really whooped Booker T ass in the grocery store. Stone Cold coming in the hospital. I thought Vince was in the hospital for real. And fucking hit him with a frying pan or some shit.
It was a bad pan, dog.
That might be the funniest.
Definitely. He beating his leg cast and hitting him with a bad pan. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Too funny. But I digress. So I say that to say I will go ahead and put that the real worst verses in hip hop will be coming next week on the podcast. And I'm gonna get into it because it's about time to kill some narratives that have been going on for too long. I'm sick of it. So Figgy, it's actually good this way. Figgy, get your list too. I want you to have a list.
Okay.
Make your list of the top 5 worst hip hop verses. I already have mine ready. And we will compare and contrast, because we're trying to get a real list of the worst hip hop verses. You know, y'all listening to the podcast right now or watching on stream or whatever. Let us know yours as well. Your picks, your 5 worst rap verses of all time. Could be anybody, even legends. Fuck it, Jay-Z. You want to put them Jay-Z in there? Put them in there. But let us know your worst verses in hip hop of all time. And we will compare and contrast because we're trying to put a legitimate list because one person has got a little too much flack for the so-called worst verse in hip-hop history. So we gonna put it to bed once and for all next week on Monday Night Raw on Jim's and Juice podcast. So all right. We got the Anita. We rolling out. We good. So as always, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And like we